Curriculum and instruction. Nowadays, many of our schools are attended by low-income and racially and linguistically diverse students. Many of these students are put into lower-level classrooms, which they will receive an education that ensures that they will remain at the tail end of the learning spectrum. Expecting low-level minimum work from these students is where the educators and the education system have failed. One way to fix or prevent this problem is an approach called teaching up. Far too often, too few students, including those who excel academically, regularly have education experience that stimulate and stretch them. Teaching up is one key approach that teachers can use regularly to make such experience available to all students regardless of their backgrounds and starting point. So to create a classroom that gives students equal access to excellence, educators at all levels need to focus on the 7 interrelated principles. The 7 principles of teaching up. Principle number 1. Accept that human differences are not only normal but are also desirable. Teachers who teach up create a community of learners in which everyone works together to benefit both individually and in groups. Principle number 2. Develop a growth mindset. Teachers who teach up provide students with clear learning targets, guidelines, and feedback, as well as a safe learning environment that supports them as they take their next steps in growth, no matter what their current level of performance is. Principle number 3. I believe this one's a very important one. Work together to understand students' cultures, interests, needs, and perspectives. People are shaped by their backgrounds, and respecting the students means respecting their backgrounds, including their race and culture. Teaching any student well means striving to understand how that student approaches learning and creating an environment that is respectful of and responsive to what each student brings to the classroom. Principle number 4. Creative-based rigorous learning opportunities. Teachers who teach up will help students form a conceptual understanding of the disciplines, connect what they learn from their own lives, address significant problems using essential knowledge and skills, collaborate with peers, examine various perspectives, and create authentic products for a meaningful audience. These teachers develop classrooms that are literacy rich and that incorporate a wide range of resources that attend students' interests and support student learning. Principle number 5. Understand that students come from classrooms with varied points of entry into a curriculum and move through it at different rates. Principle number 6. Create flexible classroom routines and procedures that attend learner needs. Principle number 7. Be an analytical practitioner. Teachers who teach up consistently reflect on their classroom procedures, practices, and pedagogies for evidence that they are working for each student and modify them when they are not. I believe that with these 7 principles that all students can benefit from this kind of curriculum and instruction we often reserve for advanced learners. That is a curriculum and instruction designed to engage students with a focus on meaning making, problem solving, logical thinking, and transfer of knowledge. I believe these principles are really essential for the classroom and curriculum and instruction. The thought-filled curriculum. Arthur L. Costa posed the question, how do you know that your students need to learn how to think? He went around the world asking different teachers from different countries and all different grade levels. And surprisingly, he got similar and consistent descriptions for his answers. With the answers like, they just blurt out answers, they should think before they respond. They depend on me for their answers, I wish they would think for themselves. They can't seem to work in groups. They must learn to cooperate and work together. They don't apply their knowledge. I want them to use what they know in other situations. They're afraid to take risks. I'd like them to be more creative and more adventuresome. Again, you're trying to avoid being one of those teachers from the last slide. And a good way to avoid that is using these 5 themes. These 5 themes should be part of any thought-filled curriculum. These themes provide lenses through which we can shape, organize, and evaluate a curriculum. Theme number 1, learning to think. And it's just not any type of thinking, it's more advanced, more skillful thinking. Theme number 2, thinking to learn. Theme number 3, thinking together. Theme number 4, thinking about our own thinking. Theme number 5, thinking big. Building a thought-filled curriculum serves the large agenda of building a more thoughtful world. An interdependent learning community where people continually search for ways to take care for one another, to learn together, and to grow towards a greater intelligence. Multicultural education is a big essential when coming up with your thought-filled curriculum. Lots of teachers look at this as in a negative way, like I don't have enough time to teach this, or just something more I had to teach, or I had to cut down from the core subjects like math, reading, and science to teach this. You don't technically have to look at it that way. You can use reality or relevance to help teach multicultural education. Like when speaking about Africans or American slaves or Indians, Native Indians, Mexican Americans, Mexicans, anything, you could use what's going on in real life to compare it or relevance to something that happened to a student. And obviously learning is going to be more interesting and easier to accomplish when it has personal meaning to the students. So by like at the beginning of the year, you have them write something that happened to them in their life, like experience, or also something very important about their culture, so you could relate it to them throughout your curriculum, so it can help you come up with a better curriculum. East Asia is known for the excellent education system and their high test scores in math, reading, and science. Right now, Chinese students are leaving American teens in the dust when it comes to standardized testing. According to the most recent PISA test scores, Singapore was ranked number 1 with the highest test scores in all 3 subjects. Shanghai came in the top 5 with reading average scores in the 550s compared to America's 500. Average science scores in the 550s as well, and average math scores in the 600, which is 113 points better than America's average. This is great for East Asia, right? You would believe so, having such an excellent education system. but with the good comes the bad. Steve Wozniak, who is co-founder of Apple with Steve Jobs, said during an interview, "A company like Apple will never emerge in countries like Singapore or Shanghai. When you are very structured, almost like a religion, uniformed, everybody is the same. A structured society like Singapore where bad behavior isn't tolerated, you are extremely punished. Where are the creative people? Where are the great artists? Where are the great singers? Where are the great musicians? Having such an excellent education system, you lose creativity and innovation." So the question that this poses is there such thing as too rigorous of a curriculum? And yes, there's a fine line between too rigorous of a curriculum and a curriculum where students are able to learn and achieve the most while still having an input and being able to innovate their own ideas. So in conclusion, by using the teach-up approach and its 7 principles, and also by using the 5 themes, you can build a thought-filled curriculum that can help students not only in the classroom but also in society and help them become a better person.